Hi, boys and girls. This is Miss Kathy. We're in the middle of the Christmas season, and we thought we'd bring you some stories from Guide's Greatest Christmas Stories. After the Christmas season, we'll be returning to our regularly scheduled shoebox mystery books. Christmas is a special time of year, a time to celebrate the birth of baby Jesus, who was born in a stable. Shepherds, after being serenaded by angels, rushed over to find the baby lying in a manger. Wise men, carrying gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, followed a bright star until it led them to the baby king. What about you? Will this Christmas bring you closer to Jesus? I hope so, and I hope that the Jesus of Christmas will live in your heart throughout the year. Helen Lee Robinson, Editor. The Man in the Green Raincoat by Marion B. Dornbush. At least school buses are better than walking, 13-year-old Colette mused to her best friend Sarah. So who's walking? Sarah asked as their yellow bus edged its way through traffic on Nobbsville's Main Street. The two girls had become friends almost as soon as school started. They had fun things in common, being in the 8th grade, having February birthdays, riding bus 14 together, licorice, and hoping there would be a white Christmas. Well, one person who's walking is an old man I've seen going toward downtown several mornings lately, Colette commented. He must be 65 or 70 years old. Look, there he is now in the greenish raincoat. He sure looks cold. I've noticed him too, Sarah agreed, and those two shopping bags, or whatever they are, don't look exactly light. The bus turned toward Pioneer School, and the conversation changed to the math quiz that Mr. Hooper had promised for that morning. While Sarah did well in math, Colette claimed that she still counted on her fingers. The next morning, the two girls watched for the little old man in the greenish raincoat. "There he is," Sarah whispered. "I wonder what's in those bags. He's had them every single day that I've seen him." "Brr, I'm just glad that I'm on this poky bus and not freezing out on the sidewalk like he is," Colette shivered, giving her scarf another wrap around her neck. The bus schedule seemed to match the green man's routine quite well, for the two friends saw him nearly every morning the last 2 weeks before the Christmas holiday. On the last morning, the man must have gotten a late start because the girls didn't see him in the usual place. "Sarah, look at that yellow house with the holly by the steps. Isn't that our green man coming down the steps?" Colette pointed excitedly. Suddenly she turned sparkling eyes toward Sarah. "I have an idea." It was Christmas Eve in the yellow house with the holly by the steps. Inside, Mr. and Mrs. Collin were sitting on the sofa, looking at the twinkling lights on their little Christmas tree. Suddenly, they were startled by a loud knocking on the front door. "Do you suppose it's those rascals who have been annoying us?" Mrs. Collins asked nervously. Before they could decide whether or not to go to the door, there was another knock, quickly followed by the sound of running feet. "Let's call the police," Mr. Collins said quickly. "Frankly, I'm uneasy after the way some of the people on our street have been bothered by troublemakers." In a few minutes, Officers Mike Myers and Bill Andrews were there to investigate. Mr. Collins turned on the porch light before he cautiously opened the door for them. That's when he spotted a package wrapped in shiny red Christmas paper and topped with a big silver bow at the edge of the porch by the steps. "Could this possibly have been dropped by the door knockers?" Officer Myers asked. "Do you want me to check it?" Mrs. Collins peeked out timidly from behind her husband and answered, "Yes, but please be careful." There was an envelope tucked beside the bow on the package. It said, "To the cute little man with the 2 heavy packages." Officer Myers smiled and handed the envelope to Mr. Collins. He opened it and read the note aloud. "I bet you're wondering why you got this present and who gave it to you. Well, the two of us ride bus 14 to school almost every morning, and we've noticed you walking and carrying those 2 heavy bags. We got to looking forward to seeing you every day and decided you looked awfully cold. So we bought you a present. We hope you like it. Sorry it doesn't match your coat, but we couldn't find one that did. Merry Christmas, your pals from Bus 14. Inside the package was a 5-foot-long blue and white striped scarf with fringes on the ends. Smiles replaced the worried looks on everyone's face. Now when Mr. Collins gets ready to go to his little shoe shop downtown, he wraps his Christmas scarf snugly around his neck and tucks the ends into his green raincoat. Then he picks up his 2 shopping bags. In one is the lunch that Mrs. Collins has fixed for him, plus a plastic bag of table scraps for the young cat who has decided to be the official mousetrap at the shoe shop. In the other bag are the shop account books that Mr. Collins brings home for his wife to take care of each night. When Bus 14 goes by, he looks up and smiles. and he wonders who his Christmas visitors were. And inside the bus, Colette and Sarah have a warm feeling not entirely provided by the bus heater, but they still wonder what is in the bags that he carries.
The story you have heard today is from Guide's Greatest Christmas Stories, a compilation from various writers for Guide magazine, edited by Helen Lee Robinson and used with permission from the Pacific Press Publishing Association. As our special gift to you, we will be sharing one of these stories every day between now and Christmas. If you're interested in any other books published by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, please visit AdventistBookCenter.com or call 1-800-765-6955.
This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.